Good day, my name is Angelo, this is Nation Voice Tower. This hub where we discuss issues pertaining to politics, the welfare of Nigerians, both at home and in diaspora. We don't just stop at Nigeria, we touch Africa and other parts of the world. Thanks for joining us. The illegalities in the NNPC and the CBN has been exposed, yes, and I tell you what, there are people in governance or in government that really have first-hand information on what is happening in the NNPC and in the Central Bank of Nigeria. Now, over time, the NNPC has been a sector that has been untouched by the administration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, not because Mr. Mele Kyari, the CEO of the NNPC, is untouchable, but because I believe there are fraudulent activities that are embedded in the NNPCL that don't want to be touched by this new administration. Obviously, because of the fact that maybe they are obviously benefiting from one or two corrupt practices happening. Now, an activist, a human rights activist and a political activist, Deji Adeyanju, has spoken up. He didn't just touch the Beta Edu controversy, but he alleged with lots of evidences and lots of threats that the illegal activities in the NNPCL and the CBN are far more than what is happening in the ministries. According to Deji Adeyanju, he believes that Beta Edu was just one scapegoat out of all ministers, and he reiterated in this particular documentary that according to Beta Edu, this particular corrupt practice or this laundering of money that she was caught in is something that all ministers do. So why would her own be a different case? Now, in this particular documentary, Deji Adeyanju said he's going to expose the illegal activities in the NNPC and the CBN, and he has evidences to back up the fact that the CBN and the NNPCL transfer money to private accounts, even alleging this new administration of the CBN under Olayemi Cardoso. He is saying that Michael Olayemi Cardoso and his cohorts are also involved in sending money into private accounts. So, I want us to follow this documentary up. Let's see what Deji Adeyanju has to say over the allegations leveled against the NNPCL and the CBN. An activist, Deji Adeyanju, has said that the Nigeria National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, is guilty also of transferring money into private accounts following the recent scandal involving the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Dr. Beta Edu. The activist urged the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, not to limit its investigation to Poverty Alleviation Ministry. According to Deji Adeyanju, Dr. Beta Edu is just one amongst the ministers. According to him, even what she said in the heat of the moment was that it is common practice. All the ministers do it. There is nothing that Beta has done that they are not doing. Quote me anywhere today that even the NNPC transfers money to private accounts. I can provide you audited and classified transfers from the NNPC into private accounts. The Central Bank of Nigeria also transfers money into private accounts. Even this set of people that have taken over from the crooked Godwin Emefiele's administration, these new guys are also transferring money into private accounts. He noted that if the EFCC wants to fight corruption, they should not just pick up an individual, but it should cut across board. He insisted that he had evidence to substantiate his claims that the NNPCL and the CBN under the new administration also are guilty of transferring money into private accounts under the aegis of government transfers. Okay, you've heard it all. Even in this new administration, these sectors still transfer money to private accounts. That means there is a lot going on in the NNPCL and the CBN that needs to be probed. I think Jim Obaze should stop probing the formal administration of Godwin Emefiele and begin to probe these new ones. Because by the time you would like to probe these new ones, it will have been 4 years gone or 8 years gone. And then by that time, nothing will be done about it. I don't know if you get my point. So, well, for Deji Adeyanju to make these allegations, and he even said he has evidences. He has He has evidences of transfers to private accounts. That means lots are going on, okay? Lots are going on. Well, that's how government is. They have come, they will eat and they will go. Another government will come, they will eat and they will go. When will Nigeria be better? How do we fight for the betterment of Nigeria? How do we stand up to fight for our rights? Talking about standing up to fight for our rights, former US President Bill Clinton, while speaking on the war between Russia and Ukraine, stated how well subordinates or countries stand up to their rights. Now, according to him, he has really explained how well subordinate countries or subordinates of other countries didn't want to be controlled anymore by their colonial masters and as well by their superior countries. In this interview, Bill Clinton cited an example with the Nigerian Civil War. He was alleging that when they came into Nigeria as Americans to intervene, Nigerians at some point were tired of their intervention and asked them to leave. According to Bill Clinton, he confessed having witnessed the death of 3 million Nigerians, but the aftermath of the war was the most important thing. Do you know what the aftermath was? Bill Clinton said Nigerians stood up to their rights and asked the Americans to leave their country despite the hardship they were experiencing at the time of the Civil War. Please watch this interview. Bill Clinton.
Our historic memory includes the notion that your greatest days were under Ivan, Peter the Great, and Catherine the Great. In other words, when you could control your neighbors. And people don't want to be controlled anymore. They want to be free to chart their own course. I'll never forget the first time a man with impeccable military credentials, the warden of Rhodes House, who was Admiral Viscount Montgomery's aide de camp in World War II, said, you know, you're going to have to leave Vietnam. For the same reason we had to leave Nigeria. We left Nigeria, there was a horrible war, 3 million people died, but we had to go, and you're going to have to go. And I said, why? He said, because they don't want you. You know, people want to chart their own course. They have to feel secure in their own identities. Then they have to have the courage to work with others. And this is not easy psychologically.
Now, aside everything he said in that interview, the most important take home in that interview is how Nigerians stood up to fight for their rights, to fight for their space, and to fight for their voices. That's the most important thing. What are we doing? What are the youth doing? Why can't the revolution start now? That is what I'm asking. Because if it doesn't start now, then we would have successive governments that would come and launder our money and go. And they keep on giving us cameos like that of Dr. Deji Adeyanju. We feel like Dr. Deji Adeyanju is the only person who is corrupt. No, she's just the scapegoat. And this is how successive governments will come and show us this kind of cameo, and then we'll applaud them. After applauding them, they will continue laundering our money. Why hasn't the NNPCL been probed? The NNPCL, no doubt, is the beginning, the genesis and the end of our problems in Nigeria. Of course, oil comes from there. The Dangote refinery has begun production, and the NNPCL is unable to produce one refinery that will start production. You're waiting for this. You're waiting for the federal government. That is what I'm saying. We have to stand up to our rights. We have to stand up to what we want. We have to stand up to our voices. That is the way to achieve freedom and development. Finally, a video has emerged that has Nyesom Ezenwike, the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, seen dancing joyfully in Rivers State. Now, he is dancing joyfully in Port Harcourt while Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory, is under siege. Abuja is under a big threat of insecurity, and he is there dancing and shaking his head. Please watch this video. When we come back, I'll talk more. See him there, dancing, enjoying himself. He was enjoying himself in that gathering while the people of Abuja are suffering from insecurity. What is wrong with Nyesom Wike? Is that how to govern the place you are given to govern? Federal Capital Territory, the capital of the country, is under siege. That is supposed to be the safest place in Nigeria. But every day we hear news of kidnaps, news of killings, and all of that from Abuja, of all places. And you are here dancing. I don't know who is to caution you some week, but he needs to be cautioned. Stop dancing and go back to your duty. You're supposed to be very sober. Very, very sober until the insecurity in Abuja is curbed and is sorted out. Why dancing? And he doesn't even care. I don't know how our politicians think. I don't know how our politicians do think these days. This serves as an example to what every minister is doing. Just look at it. You know, towards the beginning of the administration of Bola Tinubu, we are seeing Dave Umahi here and there, commissioning roads and all of that. That was just a cameo. Where is Dave Umahi now? Where is Dave Umahi now? The Senate President has not been seen in a long while. Where is he? Sources are saying he has been very, very sick. And it's in a very, very critical condition. Keep this in mind. We hope nothing happens to the Senate President. Thank you so much for staying this far. Please like our videos, share them. I'm not seeing lots of your reactions. Why? Why? Do these things so we could serve you better, alright? Drop comments for us in the comment section, alright? Take us to higher number of subscribers, alright? For betterment of service, alright? See you next time. Bye.